Several sources have pushed me to have a new idea for school where I try and push the kids. Father Mike's homily on Sunday, correlating with the scriptures about not pursuing comfort so much, he talked about a Misogi, which is this Japanese thing that you do and you have 50% failure. And I want to start doing that at school. We'll do it for physical activity, but we'll do different ones. And when we went on vacation last week, we did some hiking, and doing hard things is hard for kids. And then on Sunday, the readings from the Mass were about comfort and not seeking comfort and being somebody that knows how to push herself. And then at Theology on Tap on Sunday night, I had a guy who was a middle school teacher tell me that his job is not as much teaching the content as encouraging kids to do hard things, because it's very hard to do hard things in our day. And I want to work on that at MetaFarm, at pushing kids to do hard things. So we're going to be shooting for like finding an amount to run and then trying to beat that amount, that time each time, or maybe we'd do it with push-ups or pull-ups or something like that, but maybe we could do it with something else as well. If you have ideas about things that your child could possibly do 50% of the time and learn and help me push them to do that better, I'm all ears. But I think it's a good idea that we not let our children be comfort seekers too much so, but that we push them. So I'm going to try to do that this week and from now on. God bless. See you tomorrow.
It originates in like Shinto, Japan, where it's a purification kind of rite, a ritual where you might go into like a freezing stream or into like really cold ocean kind of a situation. The idea is you go in one way, and that process of enduring some kind of distress changes you. It purifies your heart, right? So we here in the West have taken this idea of Misogi and have made it into basically a challenge where a person is either emotionally or physically or mentally stretched, right? So in the book and other places, there are some examples. The author, for one example, he and I think 4 other friends, they took this massively heavy rock, and they were in the Pacific Ocean, and they carried it on the ocean floor for 5 miles, right? They would take turns diving down and like walking on the ocean floor with this rock, and then go up, and the next day I would dive down. They wanted to go 5 miles underwater with a rock. That was their Misogi. Other examples are like any kind of extreme athletic event, or like running a marathon or ultra marathon or hiking some like massive mountain peak. I've heard of people's Misogis being something along the lines of like a digital detox that for 48 hours, 72 hours, however long it is, just like there's no online anything, no media whatsoever. That kind of idea could be a big challenge for somebody. Others might say, cold plunge, or even like a cold shower every day for a week, that kind of situation. Something that challenges even something simple, like a solo wilderness overnight, so where you don't bring a lot of gear, but just try to endure the discomfort for one night. Or someone might say, I'm going to walk 20 miles this Saturday and walk 30 miles this Saturday. Whatever the thing is, it can be fasting. But for like a classic Misogi, classic being it's 30 years old basically, but classic Misogi has 2 rules. And the 2 rules are, you have to have only a 50% chance of success. And the second rule is, don't die, right? So it's a challenge, and actually the risk of failure is very, very high, but you can't die in the process of it. Now that's from the book, a book called The Comfort Crisis by Michael Easter. And the thesis of that book, The Comfort Crisis, is this, that we have kind of a modern obsession with convenience and comfort that has actually hurt us. That our obsession with convenience and comfort has made us weaker, less resilient, actually less happy and unfulfilled. And so he cites a number of issues. For example, he says, here we are living in virtually constant climate control, where we spend almost year round in 72 degrees. And because of that, apparently it wrecks our body's adaptability and our ability to even burn calories effectively. Not only that, but another example he gives is that we have such easy access to hyper-processed foods they're really, really tasty and really calorically dense. In addition to the fact that we have the rise of automated movement, So like cars and elevators and escalators and apps that bring whatever we want to us, that what happens as a result is over 80% of American adults are not moving enough. That the average number of steps an American adult gets in is like 4,800, which is half what the rest of the world gets. Not only that, we are eating roughly 500 calories more per day than we did back in 1970. And as a result of that convenience, right? As a result of that comfort, we have record obesity and we have record chronic illnesses that are afflicting us. And we just think it's normal. You know, another thing he pointed out, he had a great quote in the book, and the quote is this. He said, finally, on June 29th, 2007, boredom was pronounced dead thanks to the iPhone. Because that's when the iPhone was released. And he said, boredom, we don't experience boredom anymore, right? Because we want to be comfortable, we want to scroll, we have endless entertainment, we have endless streaming. We fill every moment with scrolling and with noise. And just think about this. What does that do to us? Well, it robs us of boredom. And one of the things that the researchers have shown is that boredom is essential for creativity. Boredom is essential for problem solving. Boredom is essential for self-reflection. In fact, studies have shown that people who can't tolerate boredom are more prone to anxiety, more prone to impulsive behavior, and they exhibit poor decision making, just because we're not bored. And the last example he might give is right now we're in this place where we're so obsessed with comfort that we have no real risk. We have no real challenges. In fact, there's research that highlights and underscores the fact that a lack of childhood outdoor play and risk-taking gives rise to increased adult anxiety. That when people don't face challenges early on in their lives, they become less confident and more fearful later on in their lives. And this whole thing, this whole notion, this is so pervasive, this captivity to comfort, that a man named Matthew Chandler, he once said this. He once made this big statement. When I heard it, I just was so captivated by it. The statement is this, that comfort is the God of our generation. That comfort is the